Okay, welcome back to the Adventure Within channel. My name is Andrew Fritz. I'm a clairvoyant, healer, and meditation teacher. And today's topic is on how blowing a picture could change your life. And some of my recent videos, I was kind of talking about illusions, so this kind of relates to that. And if you haven't seen those videos, that's okay. But essentially, when you start to learn to get grounded and center yourself, and perhaps maybe there's an interest in intuition and psychic abilities, and let's say you start to develop, say, your clairvoyance, your ability to see clearly, you might start to see colors, symbols, and mental image pictures. So going back to what the video is about, how blowing a picture could change your life. When I say picture, I'm referring to these mental image pictures. And this is a language of spirit. There's an aspect of our being that will communicate via these mental image pictures. And so what are all these pictures all about? We create these images. Other people create these pictures, and they end up in our energy field one way or another. An example of an image would be, say, something we all can understand and relate to would be like a memory picture. And it's just like, back in the day when we, have like the Kodak picture, like the horizontal little image that we could physically hold on to and touch. It's just like that. We have these memories, records of these memories. And it could be from this lifetime, it could be from past lives. So those are just some examples of images, right? And sometimes we can get stuck on these. Anytime you feel stuck in life, where it's just like things are kind of moving, whether things are just kind of so-so or wow, things are really great, and then bam, it's just something, seems like you just kind of run into a wall, and you kind of just like, what's going on here? And this can happen in just one aspect of your life, or it could impact multiple aspects of your life, right? You might run into an image in your mind about finances, and then suddenly, things are kind of going haywire or kind of squirrely on a financial level, and you're kind of just like tearing your hair out, going, what is happening here? And it's just, you're just running into an image in your mind. So this is kind of the value of a meditation in general, but really turning your clairvoyant ability on so that you can turn within. And you're going to run into unconscious energy. That's inevitable, and I don't view that as like failure. It's actually what you want. It's a success. You want to run into the unconscious energy, clear through that, and start to become conscious of what you're previously unconscious to. These various images in your mind. And so in this case of, say, you're running into a block, an image in your mind, and it's impacting your finances in some kind of way, it could be that it could be a memory picture. Maybe it's from earlier in life. And, sometimes our energy is kind of trapped within that image. Right? So our energy, even if it's just a little bit, can be trapped in that image. But also there could be all this lower, even negative energy attached to it or associated with it. There could be unconsciousness, there could be pain, there could be grief, there could be all sorts of stuff. It just depends on the image and what was going on then. So going back, what is this all about? How blowing a picture could change your life. So when you blow a picture, how do I work with these images? That's really key with meditation and clairvoyance. How do you work with these? How do you kind of deal with the mail kind of in your mind? What am I doing with all this? This can be kind of overwhelming. And especially when you're stuck and say, this is, and a memory is just one example, right? You could say it's not a memory picture that's limiting your financial situation, right? Maybe it's just it could just be some sort of image kind of you were handed, right? Someone else's belief or their thoughts about money. And maybe it's not even directly related to money, but it can definitely impact money and maybe even other aspects of your life. And you could be stuck on this, right? And one thing is that, okay, you're unconscious to it. That you can't really do much about it if you're unconscious to it. So in meditation, you become aware of it and go, oh, okay, here's this image, whether it's the memory picture, this belief I took on from someone else, and I've kind of subscribed to it as if it's my own, and yes, this is real, and it affects my reality or multiple levels of reality. And you become aware of this, and then you go, okay, well, oh, this is a total lie. This is not even, I don't believe in this. This is not even real. It's not even mine. Came from this person or whatever. And sometimes you can trace this back to, oh, this was from, this particular family member, or wow, this was just passed down from generation to generation. How lovely. And then what do you do with it? You can, boom, explode it, right? If it's not even really, it didn't even come from you, or even if it did come from you, right? You can just decide, I'm going to let this go. I don't want to hold on to this anymore, because me holding on to it, it's weighing me down. It's limiting me. It's not helping me in any way. So I would like to let this go. And so this conscious choice and just seeing it and just exploding the image, and you're decharging the image. And when you blow a picture, in this particular case, if it's just some limiting belief that has nothing really to do with you, but you've taken it on, you'd basically get rid of that image. It's no longer in your energy field. It's no longer affecting you. And depending on the image that you're blowing up, it may have this kind of, it will definitely create a change for you, right? You're no longer beholden to that. And so you'll experience some sort of change. Now, if there's a particular image where it's a kind of a big deal, and there's a lot of charge to it, and sometimes there's certain images that can be kind of a big deal, that when you blow that particular type of picture, that could be life-changing. And generally, those things don't just happen overnight. Usually, you're chipping away at the block over time. But it just, from an outside perspective, it just would appear that, wow, so it's like the rags to riches, where just one day someone is in poverty, is poor, or just, doesn't have a lot of money or have a lot of things in general, and then suddenly overnight, wow, they have this deal and this money, and wow, this is amazing. But there's been things happening behind the scenes that are kind of leading up to that most people just aren't aware of. We do have images like that when we finally blow them. Wow, it can really change things. And, for example, say, we just use the limiting belief example. So say there's a memory, right? So there's images that we will get rid of, when we, boom, blow the picture and we're not beholden to this and we let it go. It's no longer there. But then there's memories. Say you're stuck on a memory. This happens all the time, that we're just totally unaware of or unconscious to, that we get stuck on these memories. And then sometimes we get stuck on them all the time. And it's not that when like I talked about, how do you free yourself from this? Okay, I'm running into this. It feels like a wall. I'm stuck. But you start to meditate. Your clairvoyance is on. You start to see this. And you pose this question of, okay, I'm feeling very stuck right now. It's affecting this and that. What is this? And you see this image come up, and wow, it's this memory of this time when you were this age and this was happening. You start to get some information about it. And, your freedom is, it involves forgiveness, but the mechanics is you're exploding the image. You're just blasting it. And it's not necessarily hurting anything. It's that you're freeing yourself. That any of your energy that's kind of caught in that image, you get to reclaim it. It's usually your creative power. Oh, yeah, you'd like to have more of that, right? Instead of it just being stuck in this image, oh, yeah, reclaiming your creative power, so it's freed up for yourself. And then sometimes, yes, there can be a lot of lower energy that's on that. So when you run into that image in present time, and man, I feel stuck in this thing. So yeah, it can just be a past memory picture that you're running to in your mind, but it just, everything feels really real right now. And again, yeah, it's just a matter of turning within and becoming aware of that particular memory picture. And you're just learning how do I resolve this? How do I process this? And forgiveness and the mechanic of boom, exploding the image. And it's not, again, not hurting anything. You're just freeing your energy up, clearing kind of the low dense energies. And in regards to a memory, we're not really getting rid of those. We can store that type of information at various levels of consciousness. So you could always, if you wanted to, you might not want to though, but you could recall back that memory and look at it. It's just not going to affect you the way it has, prior to blowing the picture. So it's always there you can, pull it up and take a look at it, remember it, etc. It's just you're free of it. And this is the beauty of meditation and clairvoyance, is that we've had many experiences just within one lifetime, right? And most of them, things are, it's not a problem, not an issue. It's just there's always a few memories that are kind of tough. You have your energy trapped in it, and there's a lot of resistance and negativity on that associated with it. And heck, there's even memories that we don't even remember. It's just like it was just kind of blacked out, so to speak. Maybe something happened where we left our body and we weren't present, right? So yeah, this is the value of the meditation, the clairvoyance, where you can kind of, again, turn within, center yourself, and start to become aware of those tougher memories and learning to resolve those, because then you're getting your freedom. And it's really up to you how deep you want to go with this, because there's just this lifetime, right? You might have certain images, whether it's the limitation pictures from other people, just, here's this limitation, no, that's not mine, getting rid of that, or the memories of just resolving these kind of tougher memories. And we've all had these experiences. Some are more heavy duty, whether it's kind of like trauma related or very painful, or some are just not quite as big of a deal, but they're not quite resolved. And so you get to work on forgiving and resolving these. And every time you clear through one of these images, you're freed up, and there's going to be change. It's just there's going to be a couple images that they're kind of a bigger deal. And when you finally resolve it, when you finally, boom, blast that picture and blow it up and free your energy, and that can be life-changing. And, sometimes we call these core pictures, right? Sometimes it can take time to chip away at these, just because they could be tough to look at and to work through. But when you finally get through it, and boom, and then everything changes, and wow. And that's what we're kind of all seeking, right? But there's or we feel just kind of stuck, or just very limited in one or multiple aspects of our life. Because if you look at the chakra system, right, so the base, kind of the first chakra all the way up to the top of the head, the crown, it really depends. If you have one of these heavier duty pictures at a higher level of consciousness, it affects everything below that. Yeah. And so when you find it, and you find where it's kind of at, then when you clear through that picture, it's not only going to affect that level of consciousness for you, but everything right below it. And to me, that's inspiring. That might seem like, oh my gosh, that sounds kind of tough. And yeah, it's working through it can be like that, right? It's all the energy around it. But when you do, then you know that, when I clear through that, I'm free at that level and all the way down. I have greater freedom. And that's why I love doing this. You're just getting yourself more free here. And that's a really a big deal. And that's really what we're doing. On our when we get on our spiritual path, we're essentially clearing through the lies and illusions and the junk mail in our mind that's between ourselves and our higher self. And that's the part of us that's not limited to this lifetime, that has the mission statement for this incarnation, the why. And oh yeah, I definitely want to get in touch with that. Your answers, your truth, your information as an immortal being that you are, and clearing all the junk mail between you and that part of yourself, that higher part of you. And when you get to that point, that's a great position to be in. And I've learned that that's not even the end. You might think, oh, okay, I'm done. I can can I graduate from this Earth system and be done with this? And there's still more images at that point in the mind between you and Source. It becomes about your relationship to Source and clearing the remaining images between you and Source. And once you make it through that final leg of the journey, then you kind of reach that total or full enlightenment, as some might say, and then, okay, you're done here. But that's a different topic for a different video. Actually, I think I've already covered that, but I'm sure I'll discuss it more. But with that said, yeah, go ahead and subscribe if you're interested in topics like this. And hopefully you found that interesting and helpful in some way. If you have questions, leave comments below. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.